Howdy, Max. Good to see you again. You don't have a good feeling tonight? Is it because the Minnesota Wild have won, what is it, 18 of their last 19 contests against the Habs? Something like that. They're 18-1 in their last 19. Habs haven't beat the Wild since before COVID. The Canadiens are especially terrible against the Wild. Hard to believe it. Howdy, Ryan. Oh, here we go. Seems like the perfect time to give Jack Eye a rest. He'll definitely be needed Saturday in Boston. Howdy, Karen. Good to see you again. Hold on, guys. Let me get the lineup for you. So you guys know, Kirby Dach is back, and well, Dobesh is in, and Texier's out. Texier's not a scratch. Don't worry. Texier is merely injured day to day with an upper body injury. Here we go. Here are the lines for tonight. So Kirby Dach back on the first line with Suzuki and Caulfield. Feels like, what was it, 2023 the last time they were doing that? Slavkovsky, Kapanen, Demidov, Anderson, Dino, Gallagher. Oh my God, the old man line. And then Veleno, Evans, Bolduc. And then Matheson, Dobson, top pairing. And then Gooley, Carrier, Struble, Hutson. Hutson's on the third pairing, and name only, I'm sure. Max says the faith the front office has in Doc, it mystifies me. Yeah, well, tonight I think it was convenient because Texier's hurt, but I personally would not have put him back on the first line after missing, what is it, 2 months or something. Morgan says the what was it, the quiet part loud. Doesn't it seem a little convenient that Texier's out day to day? Yeah, agreed. It's a little strange, but it's how it goes sometimes. I don't know. I don't have any insider information, unfortunately. Karen, hello Karen. Good to see you again. Ryan says, I think when Line A is healthy, you have to consider scratching Gallagher, especially considering his power play ability. It's funny you should mention it. Brendan Kelly wrote What the Puck today, just about that very subject, about how Gallagher is probably the guy that ought to be, if this were a total meritocracy, um, that Gallagher probably should be the one to sit. But as Max is quick to point out, Marty will never, ever sit Gallagher, which seems like a definite possibility. Hello, Rick. Thanks for joining. Karen's down at the first line. Down with Kirby Dach on the first line. Guys, I don't even know what to tell you guys about Kirby Dach. I watched the Habs get pushed around a little bit by the big forwards of Buffalo and Ottawa, and then suddenly I'm dreaming of Kirby Dach again, being that guy, that 6'4", big wing. He's a winger now, tough to get off the puck. And does that guy even exist? Am I just pining for a thing that isn't real? That seems to be yeah. That is my concern. That I'm just pining for something that is not real. Morgan says Bolduc has gone from the first to the fourth line. Maybe he sits before Gallagher. Yeah, that's an honestly definite possibility. Considering the loyalty that they have towards Gallagher, we might see Bolduc get scratched. Ryan Katz says, I would have tried Anderson. Ugh, I feel like we've tried that before and it doesn't work, but he's like, I don't know. I don't know, guys. Karen's telling me just watch for Doc. He's real. I really hope so. The Canadiens have invested so much time and effort to make Kirby Dach a guy, to make him a thing, and it just hasn't happened yet. We're running out of time. He's a restricted free agent at the end of the year, and I just don't know. I just don't know what you know. Obviously, if he was 6'1", we wouldn't even be bothering. We wouldn't even be having this conversation. He probably would have been long gone. But he's a big guy, so we get to see more Dach. Morgan says surely the Habs will qualify him an offer. How much do you think you get on a 1-year deal? Um, I don't know. In theory, yes, because he's an asset. Why would Kent Hughes give up an asset? But honestly, uh, as Max points out here, it will be an accomplishment if Doc can get through this game without breaking something. He's made of balsa wood. If he does get injured again, like what is his career? What is his future? It's a strange situation. Rick Wood says, who doesn't do well on that line? Doc may have some rust in a few games to prove why he's a third overall pick. Um, well, Bolduc was not that good on that line. Doc is still only 25. 25 going on 50 based on how that body's going. But yeah, eh? He's still just 25, I think. 25 years old. Wait, he turns 25. He turns 26 tomorrow. So he's 26 for all intents and purposes. Marcus Foligno had a hat trick last night. Does he know his dad's celebration jump? I've seen Nick Foligno do the jump. I don't know if I've seen Marcus do the jump. Max says, I don't understand the Jack Eye scratch. Um, my colleague Brendan Kelly was apoplectic about it this morning. And I will point out that Jack Eye had started the 17 previous games. So it's not like Jack Eye is getting the rough end of the deal right now. He's clearly past Struble on the depth chart. So I don't know. No, Karen, I think he turns 26 tomorrow, no? Or am I crazy? Does he turn 25 or 26? Hold on. He was born in 2001. Oh, that really does make him 25, doesn't it? That's crazy. Right? Does that mean he's 24 right now? Oh my god, my math is terrible. It's 2026. So he turns 25 tomorrow. That's unreal. It feels like he's a million billion years old. Bolduc had inexperience and was too young on that line. Yeah, I didn't think he was ready to go. But that's okay. Hey Bob, how you doing? Oh, Kelly's at the game tonight. That's a good one. Good one to catch. The Canadiens are not very good against the Wild, but my goodness, they get to see Kaprizov and Quinn Hughes tonight. That's pretty good. It's pretty special. He sure was selected third overall in the first round by the Hawks in 2019. So that makes him 25? Jeez Louise. He's so young. That's why they don't give up on him. That's why they're not giving up on Doc just yet. He's still so young and so big. And then every so often shows a little bit of offense and you're like, ugh. You're just not finding that anywhere else. Yeah, he's 25 tomorrow. That's crazy. Crazy. Feels like he's been around forever. If not Jack-Eye, then who would have scratched? Yeah, they would have scratched Struble again, but Struble's been a scratch 4 out of the last 5 games. You can't Pizzetta him. He's got to play a little bit. Pay attention to the Norris. Hutson, who last month was 10 points behind, is now 4 points behind. Werenski's he's putting up some numbers. Ask any Hawks fan what they think of Dach. He was not very good. He was not very good in his time. Not very good in his time in Chicago. That's for sure, Max. Perhaps the Canadiens should have heeded those warnings. Um, anyways, again, there's just big guys like that you don't find on the market very often. So I think the Canadiens took a chance, and so far it has not panned out. But today's a new day. He's back, and once again we are hoping against hope that Kirby Dach can show us something, anything, and then at the end of the season they can make a decision. Meanwhile, Dobesh starting. Max says that Kirby Dach's not very good in the room either. Well, they Hughes and Gordon did not not have much nice to say about him last season about how he rehabbed his injury. So it's very rare to have the management call out a player like that, especially this management. So it was a very alarming thing. They did indeed give up Romanov to get that guy in the convoluted first rounder swap. I will say Romanov, as good as he is, has also not been without his injury troubles. He's had a lot of issues too staying healthy. Very good defenseman though. I won't deny that. But oh, Eric's prediction time from Gary Wolitsky. The Wild will win this game in a blowout. 5-2 my prediction. What's yours? All right. There's my prediction. 4-3 Habs, and they break the curse against Mini. Wow. Great play by Demidov there. Morgan says some good news. Heineman has cooled off for the Islanders. Only 2 goals since September 20th. I'm rooting for Heineman. I love Heineman. He's seemed like a good player and a good kid. He was. They had to give up something to get Dobson. I'm good. I'm cool with Heineman. Oh, Karen's double dipping tonight, watching the Habs, and then Ottawa Columbus. Oh yeah, that is a game with some implications, playoff wise for sure. Bonjour says, remembering when who's Mona, had the same critique then against him, same with Dach. I don't know what we're talking about. I mean, all Habs first 3 minutes of this game, but I haven't cashed in yet. Oh! Evans with the moves. Wow, what a great shift by the Man, Bolduc, he got to the net there. The Wild player just lifted his stick in time, though. Yeah, is anybody else watching the Australian Open? I don't think I'm going to be able to. The time difference is just like too much. I think I'm just going to watch highlights. Slafzilla. Well, the Habs are hoping to see some Slafzilla tonight. Morgan says, I wonder about Kapanen. I think I could score 10 goals playing with Slavkovsky and Demidov. I know. Those guys look. I will say that the fancier stats out there don't look too kindly on Kapanen. They really do see him being a the third wheel on that line. But I don't know. I think he looks all right. He wins enough faceoffs, and he seems like a strong enough two-way player that I think I'll set aside the fancy stats for a second there. Oh, we got another prediction. Karen says 5-2 Habs. Got another prediction. Rick says OT tonight. Ryan Katz says Italy didn't select North American players with Italian heritage this time. Yeah, there's one guy from Saint Eustache, I will say, and a couple guys from Ontario. But you're right. I did see a surprising amount of Italian guys on Team Italy, and Daniel Sovaggio was named the GM of the women's team, I presume, for Team Italy. The tweet was kind of weird. It didn't specify if it was the men's or women's team, and I'm like, Sovaggio is definitely qualified to be the men's GM, so would have been nice if they'd specified it for me. Oh, Karen's watching Boko tonight. Yeah, that'll be a good one. Yeah, we got a shout out to the Valeno Evans Bull Duke line. They did have a nice shift. Still, just for Minnesota doesn't even have a shot on goal yet. We're 5 minutes in. Shots are 4-0 Habs so far. Minnesota's third in the NHL right now. No slouches. Oh no, they are. I mean, they've got two of the absolute best players in the league right now, in Kaprizov and Quinn Hughes, who they of course miraculously acquired from the floundering Canucks. So no, there's a reason why the Habs don't play well against them, and they're arguably even better than they've ever been. Bill Guerin is an odd GM, moves in some strange ways, but I can't argue with the team he's put on the ice currently. Kat says Jared Spurgeon played with Shea and Georges at Kelowna. Damn, he's been at it a while. He's probably gonna go down as a career Wild. Oh, nice play. Evans tonight. He look. There's some nights where Evans got his legs, and you're like, oh, you're gonna score a goal, hopefully. But he looks like tonight might be the night. Tried a little behind the legs pass there. That was a little less nice. 10 shot attempts so far by the Habs. They are all over the place. Oh, Mana is Sean Monahan. I get you. The long list of injuries, like Dak, just saying it's too early to give up on Dak. That's true. Although I will say the thing about Monahan was Monahan had a couple of very good seasons with Calgary, then injured his hip, needed hip surgery, and wasn't that good for a little bit, and then became good again. So he had at least a track record of being good for, whereas Doc has no track record outside of the first season he was in Montreal. He looked pretty promising. Was second in team scoring with 39 points. Crazy to think. We already have 5 guys with 40 points this season. Oof. Kaprizov blew by everybody, but Matheson was able to hang in there and was Kaprizov's shot off the rush was deflected by Matheson. Struble needs to wake up if he wishes to stay in the lineup. Oh. All right, 2-on-1 Foreman here. What a... Oh, man. Kapanen and Demidov give and go. And then one of them was behind the net, one of them was in front of the net, and they just could not complete that pass. But yeah, Jaden Struble is, I mean, gosh, he's been a healthy scratch for the last 5 games. He's definitely the seventh, firmly ensconced as the seventh D man right now. And there's other defensemen coming. I mean, how long can he stave off Engstrom, Reinbacher? I think it's going to be tougher and tougher for Struble, especially since he doesn't have that. Like he's a big guy and he can be physical, but he's not physical in the way that Jack Eye's physical. So if they're going to keep a guy like that, they're going to keep Jack Eye. So Struble's definitely. I think as the rising tides of this team continue, his boat's going to be taking on water. That's for sure. Canadians are all over the wild, Ryan says. How many periods of hockey before Dach is back in the hospital, Gary says. Well, don't jinx him. But yes, it is a challenge. That is a challenge that he's going to have for probably the rest of his career. Even if his career does kind of get on track here, I have a feeling that Dach is going to be continuously having to prove himself and prove that he can stay in the lineup. Michael Paul, hello Michael Paul, hello all. I'm here for a couple and then watching from bed. 3:45 a.m. gets here quickly. Well, hang in there as long as you can. It looks like we're gonna have a fun game tonight. So I gotta ask, do you think this little stretch here is Kirby Dach's last chance in Montreal? I don't mean this game. I mean like this stretch of play right here. Now till the end of the season, ostensibly. But maybe sooner. We'll say even now to the deadline. I mean, for all the Hedman and Hine of their last week there, the Habs are 5-2-1 in their last 8 apparently, and they have a strange play here. I saw the Habs player get knocked down, but it's a delayed penalty against them. So now the Wild get a chance to go up ice with an extra skater. Oy, this delayed penalty keeps going. There you go. So our first penalty of the game goes to the Habs. And unfortunately, Dano is the one who gets the penalty, so there goes their face-off guy. Well, they still got Evans. Karen says Kirby Dach will be fine. I wouldn't give up on him. Glad to see a 6'4" body back in the lineup. That's when you got his size. You may get unlimited chances in this thing. Honestly, I don't know. Michael Paul says I like Dach on the first line as a winger. I think that the acquisition of Phil Danault, provided he stays playing okay. Um, yeah, and Kapanen stays okay at center. Kind of frees up Dach to not be a center. Frees him up to be a winger. And now even like Veleno is going to be a fourth line winger that can take left side faceoffs. Rick Woods asked Blue, "Did you watch the Bills?" And Blue answers, "Unfortunately, they lost. Right? That's what happened." I didn't watch a lot of football this weekend. I watched Caleb Williams' touchdown, and then they lost. I didn't have a team, but I was like, man, these Bears seem all right. I would root for the Bears, and then they lost. So, as always, we're just back to the default, which is just me rooting for anybody but the Patriots. I could never root for a Boston team. Sorry. Max says this might be the start of when the ice tilts the other way. Well, so far it's been all Habs, so who knows? Michael Paul says the Bills suck. Oh no. Don't get started. I'm sure we got Bills fans in here. Karen asks, what are the odds that there are two Karens? I guess in Canada, maybe not that high. All right, first power play of the game goes to the Minnesota Wilds. And they score. Sorry, y'all. That was real fast. Some very quick passing by Mini. Zuccarello given all kinds of time and space, and you don't give a guy that skill, time, and space. Sends it cross ice to Tarasenko. Tarasenko scores on the one timer. 9:16 in the first period. Mere seconds into that power play. How long into that power play? 10, 19, 10, 44. So let me do the math here. Like 15 seconds in that power play, something like that. There you go. 1-0 Mini. Canadians acquired Phil Deneau to help them with the penalty kill, but I got to admit, in the last few games, he has been the one taking penalties. I had a good conversation with Mark Talifer outside of outside of this, and he's pretty adamant that Deneau has not played very well since he got here. I know Deneau's phase-off numbers have been solid, but 5-on-5 hasn't really contributed much. Yeah, I thought he looked really good the first couple of games, and now he's kind of so I don't know. They got to find lines. I feel like they're back to trying to find bottom six lines that work, which is weird because guys are coming back from injury, so you think that they would be better, but don't always work that way. Rick, they did score on the power play. I don't know. Arbor might be punished. Oh, here we go. Mark, I was just talking about you and talking about how we had talked on Twitter about Dano being no bueno so far, and there you go, man. Another example of Dano taking a penalty 5-on-5, and then the Wild immediately connecting. And he's a guy that you brought in to be on your PK, but he's been taking penalties. And it's not his first one. So the Wild have scored on one of two shots so far. All right, Suzuki steals it in the corner. Is there a chance for anything here? Gallagher's in the corner there. He's trying to get his man off the puck. Nice passing play, but Carrier takes a shot from the point, and Dano is a little late on the play, so he's not able to get in front of Wallstead. Wallstead is a young goalie, really good. They don't draft many. You don't draft many goalies in the first round anymore. But they took a chance on Wallstead. He's living up to the hype. Which Pitlick does Mini have? Do they have a Pitlick? Pitlick report? They sure do. Tyler Pitlick. Is that the Tyler Pitlick that played for the Canadiens for a hot minute? Wow. Yeah, it is the one that used to play. I was like, what? He must be 35 years old by now. He is. He's 34 years old. And he's literally playing for the. Yo, his career is nuts, man. This guy's been around. Mini, Rangers, Blues, Habs, Flames, Coyotes, Flyers, Dallas Stars, Edmonton Oilers. That's a lot of air miles for Tyler Pitlick, who prior to this season had not played since 2024, when he had a not very nice stint with the Rangers. Uh, wow, Tyler Pitlick, man, that's crazy. Feels like it's a typo. Feels like it's a typo. I cannot believe Tyler Pitlick is still in the NHL. Good for you, man. Good for you, my man. Uh, keep getting those NHL paychecks if you can do it. Good for him. Gallagher will be mysteriously injured when Line A is ready. That is Definitely a possibility. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know what they're gonna do. Gallagher's just hasn't looked right in a really long time. I don't know. Minnesota is slowing the game down now. Power play took the crowd out of it. I'm afraid you are correct, Max. I agree with you. The Canadiens are going to have to do something to get back in this. Hey, it's tied up at 1. Phil Dano scored his first goal of the season, man. What a monkey to get off your back. What happened here? He's in front, bangs in the rebound. Wallstedt really came out to play that point shot. And Dano's the last man there, and he's stoked. Gooley's going to get the. That was the Gooley shot, so he got the primary assist on that one. There you go. Dano scored. Mark, how you feel? Forgiveness? A little forgiveness? He needed that one, Dano. And now the Habs get a power play. Here you go. Dano assisted by Gooley and Carrier. And now with 4:07 left in the first period, the Canadiens will go on the power play. And the puck immediately goes back to Hutson. Man, this is a game between Hutson and Hughes, two of the real elite puck movers of this league. Karen says, good for Phil. Happy to see him back. Ah, that was a bad pass by Caulfield on the power play, man. He needed to shoot that one. Dobson's pass A little too hot for Kapanen on the power play there. I feel like they wanted him to one-timer it, but a little too hard. Hey, Wallstead stops a pretty hard Dobson slap shot and gets little tap on the forehead from his teammate there. How many people thought Dano coming back was just a rumor? Not to toot my own horn, but I did say it was going to happen on this very live blog many times. And you guys mostly agreed with me, though. You guys like, yeah, it makes sense. Um, so I'm also here to tell you, I said it at the beginning of the season. If the Habs are in contention at the deadline, they're going to trade for Panarin. I still say that, but that's contingent on them being like first or second in the division. I don't think they'll do it if they're like hanging on for a playoff spot. That's like a that's like going out and buying a Ferrari. You need to be like deserving of it. Doc missed 31 games, by the way, just in case anybody was keeping track. Bit of a quick whistle there on a Wallstedt save. Oh yeah, sad to hear about Phil Goyette's passing. It's true there are not many. Who's left from the 50s and 60s? We talked about this earlier when I think Dryden passed. We talked about some of the old timers left, and there really aren't any. Phil Goyette was one of the last. A very famous Rolling Stone writer, Brian Hyatt, who I follow on social media, whenever a big artist from the past dies, he always writes the 20th century is disappearing before our eyes, and it's really true. All right, we're in the final minute of this period, and the Habs have the puck in the zone, and they score through traffic. Wow. Who was that? Carrier looks like he's celebrating. He was the one who took the shot. There are a lot of bodies in there. Well, we got a couple of guys in front. We got Kapanen in front, Demidov in front. Oh, it's Matheson. Matheson was the one who took the shot. Karen, you're still here from the 50s and 60s, and please continue staying here and share with us your wisdom. Your wisdom is valuable to us young folk. I'm not even that young. They're younger, much younger folk than me, but you know what I mean. Zuccarello has always been a Habs killer. Sure has. Good player. Did he make Team Norway? Is Norway in the Olympics? I do love that he's kind of the lone. I think there's another one. There's a defenseman from in Tampa now, but not many Norwegian players. I got to give it up for my Norwegian pals. Yeah, Karen Rooney said 5-2 Habs at the beginning, and looking good so far. Carrier, it's true. The Flying Frenchmen are back. Oh yeah, hold on. Let me get that for you. Let me get that goal for you. First period's over. Uh, the Habs outshot the Wild 14-2, and they lead 2-1. What a period! What a strange period. Did not expect the Habs to come out firing like that. But Karen says, not a fan of Marty's beard. Yeah, but what if they keep winning? He's got to keep the beard if they keep winning. So what can you do? The oldest living ex-Habs played only 5 games. 94-year-old Reg Abbott after Marcel Bonin died. Marcel Bonin died as well. Flying Frenchman. Yeah, Carey. I mean, Carey puts up a little bit of offense. Harry just woke up from, from a nap. He missed the first period. It was a good first period. Should have napped. Max says, hey, it was a good period for the Habs. Sure was. Ouch. Ouch. Max, how many periods do the Habs outshoot anybody 14-2? Let alone the Wild. Unreal, man. Just when you least suspect it. The Habs, once again, pretty good against good teams, and then not so bad on against others. Max says, rare that they get 14 in a game. There were definitely some times at the beginning of the season where that was true. Rick with an important intermission question here. Question with rumors of the Rangers once again rebuilding, and should the Habs go for Lafreniere, the downside is production and his salary, but it is a bit under our top three forwards. Darcy Barnes, hello. No second period Blues. I sure hope not. On this date in 1953, the Rockets scored his 23rd hat trick against the Leafs. 23 hat tricks. Unbelievable. How many hat tricks does anybody have on the Habs right now? How many does like Caulfield have? Like a couple? I don't even think he has that many. But we're gonna put this one back up here. Lafreniere and the Rangers. The Rangers in general, they sent out a letter. They're giving up again. They're a clown franchise. Nothing's going right for them. They traded for JT Miller. They thought JT Miller was going to fix what ails them. Did not fix what ails them. Is there anything from that team that you want? Here, I'll put that question up here. Oh man, RDS is interviewing Pierre Dagenet's son. Good lord. I don't know if that makes me feel old or just definitely talks like Pierre Dagenet does. Not a compliment. But yeah, you tell me. Should the Canadians be buying what the Rangers are selling? That includes Lafreniere, who I don't know. I don't know about him. The problem with him is that, in addition to the fact that he has not produced commiserate of his contract, um, and has not lived up to the hype of the first round pick, and has kind of complained a lot, I think, a little bit. The thing about Lafreniere, just positionally speaking, is that he's a left-handed winger who also does his best work down the left side off the rush, which we've come to realize in the past 2 months is also Slavkovsky's ideal placement. And then you have Caulfield, who seems to prefer to play his off wing. So I think the ideal to play with that top line is a left-handed player on his off wing, like a Bolduc, but not Bolduc. So I don't know if Lafreniere is a good fit on that first line, which is what you would acquire him for, right? So that way you could have on the second line Slavkovsky, Demidov, because you're not acquiring Lafreniere to be on your third line, which is what was forced to do for a very long time for the Rangers, and I feel that very much stunted his development and has transformed him into something of a third line player. But I wouldn't want to acquire him to be a third line player. I would acquire him under the belief that he could be a first line player or a second line player. And at this point, well, he's making what, 7.2 mil, something like that. 7.2 mil is the going rate for a second line player signed long term in his prime years. So if he can be that, he could be useful to somebody. Obviously, the Canadians under Hughes and Gorton have emphasized getting local guys, and he would be a local guy to get. They would obviously, Gorton would obviously be familiar with him from his time with the Rangers. What's the timing on that? Did he preside over that draft at all? I don't even remember now, but maybe it's a little late for that. But yeah, Lafreniere seems like the guy that could potentially fill a top six role for the Habs under like a manageable contract if he can be that guy. Hasn't been that guy. Bob Taylor with the important question: did everybody see the goalie fight last night between Florida and San Jose? Yeah, it was Bobrovsky and Nedeljkovic, and they dropped the gloves big time. At first, I thought it was going to be Bobrovsky Askarov, and I was like, "Damn, the Russian goalie's going at it." But no, it was Nedeljkovic. He's not a very big goalie, certainly not as big as Bobrovsky, but that was fun to watch. That was not a fake fight. They really went at it as best they could. It was something else. Rick Wood says, I see him more as a third line with Florian and Newhook. But then you don't want him, do you? A $7 million third line player? I feel like if you're going to pay, and you're going to have to pay a pretty big price to get him, they're not going to give him away. I feel like that's like a bit of overkill for a third liner. I don't think I would acquire him to be a third line guy. I think you have, at the money he's making, you got to want him to be better than that. Ryan Katz says Kadri and Coleman are also on the block. I saw a lot of people writing about Coleman last week. That's an interesting possibility. Coleman's got. Does he have? What has he got left on his deal? Coleman has 1 year after this at a very manageable $4.9 million. He's currently on the IR, bubble wrapped. Right, he's being bubble wrapped. Uh, yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind Coleman at all. Cadre have established I like the player a lot. I just think he makes too much money, and the deal goes very late into his 30s. It's too much risk for that one for me. Uh, Moon Observer Gilles 573 says Doc will need several games to adapt. Yeah, I don't think can't expect much from him tonight. He's been out 31 games with a fractured foot. Ryan says horrible balance issues. This is talking about Lafreniere or yeah, that's a big issue with him. He's not a very good. He's not a good skater. When I see him score nice goals, he's off the rush, but he's always like kind of like far behind. He shoots from like the top of the circle and it goes in, and I'm like, okay, you got a good shot, but not exactly getting in the net. Yeah, the downside with Lafreniere is salary. That's the thing. When you get slotted where you get paid, he gets paid to be a top six guy. He's got to be a top six guy. Otherwise, you don't want him. Coleman's great because he's getting paid like a third liner, and he's arguably better than a third liner. He's a good player. All right, let's get some odds in here. The Money Puck deserve to win meter has them at 61% Habs. Ooh la la. That's pretty good. Polymarket has the Canadiens at 72 cents on the dollar. That's not bad. Now, here's where it's crazy. Scoring chances. This is legit. It's 20 to 4 Habs. I feel like I have not seen the Habs get 20 scoring chances all season anywhere. And then the high danger chances. 8-0 Habs. What a thoroughly dominant first period by the Habs. It would have been terrible if that one goal had stood as the only goal, but the Canadiens won't give up the farm. For Lafreniere, definitely not. And that's where the contract becomes a thing where a lot of teams are going to look at Lafreniere and be like, "Well, I can't. You got to take back salary." So I do think that there's a possibility if the Canadiens acquire another forward and it's like a high profile forward, if it's like a Panarin or a Lafreniere, somebody who makes that kind of money, that they're gonna have to arrange something where that other team takes back line A. I think that that's like the math is mathing that way a little bit. Like the Habs can keep maybe half of the line A deal and then add that other salary. I think it'll come to that. And I think also that I think if there's no lineup spot for Line A in the Habs when he comes back, I don't think that Hughes is gonna like keep him in bubble wrap on the bench. I do think Hughes is gonna try to find an opportunity for Line A because he's not gonna like screw over Line A and be like, you don't get he needs a contract for next year. He's a player of like veteran status. You can't sign him and put him on the bench. You can't keep him and put him on the bench and then like not let him get a chance to get his contract. So I do think that if there's no, they'll give Line A like a shot to get a lineup spot back, and then if it doesn't work out, I do think Hughes will try to facilitate a move as much as possible. Karen with the out of town report here. Ottawa is leading 2-1. I think they're playing a little better of late. I mean, they almost beat the Habs on Saturday. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. That was a crazy game. Rick Wood says the Rangers willing to trade Lafreniere for Gordon, but Gordon told them to shove it. Lafreniere for Gordon? Do the Rangers want Gorton back? I don't think Jeff Gordon's ever coming back to the Rangers. Dennis Martin says my third game this year, and they lost the first two. The Habs did. Damn. Craig Button said today he felt the only untouchables in the Habs prospect list are Fowler and Hage. Everyone else is tradable. Bob, I agree. I can see that, Bob. Bob, the only way that I disagree is I think Reinbacher is probably. I don't think he's untouchable. I just think that because of the injuries, he's not going to be valued that high outside of the Habs. So the Habs will not be inclined to trade him, if you know what I mean. Whereas I think Engstrom and Zarovsky have a lot of value, and the Canadians can afford to move one of them. Zarovsky's not coming over for 2 years. The Habs can rationalize dealing him to help the team in the next 2 years. And Engstrom, I just don't see where there's room for him. And I think he's an NHL defenseman. I think he's already an NHL defenseman, and he just is blocked. And when there's going to be time and room for another defenseman, they're going to want a natural right-handed defenseman, and Reinbacher is going to get the chance. And I think that if they have room on the left side, they're going to want somebody physical like Jack Guy. So I think Engstrom's nice mix of size and speed. He's like another Dobson-y type guy. Smart decision maker. I just don't think there's the room. Karen says, and yet every team asks for Reinbacher. I think the thing is, Reinbacher is still a 6'4" right-handed shot defenseman. A bit like Dach. We talk about Dach still having a lot of value because he's a big center and has lots of skills that have yet to fully materialize, but he has them. Reinbacher's in the same boat, except he's much, much younger and is, I would say, not super far behind where he needs to be. I think at this point, I think if he had been healthy up until this point, he probably would have made the team a couple months ago, but he's not so far behind. The team's pretty stacked at right D, getting Carrier and Dobson, so I think that they can afford to keep him in the minors one more year and bring him up, but they're not like Doc. You're not finding a 6'4" center on the open market or in the trade market very often. There are not many 6'4" right-handed defensemen that can move like that and make smart decisions like Reinbacher can available. So teams will be interested, but probably won't give the Canadians what he's worth, and the Canadians need a guy like that, so they're just going to keep him. That's my theory. Whereas Zarovsky and Engstrom, the Canadians can afford. Those guys can go on to become amazing players, and the Canadians can be like, wow, we had to take the chance. A bit like Romanov. They had a bunch of left defensemen. They had Gooley coming up, and they were like, well, whatever. We can trade Romanov. It's okay. Whereas I think Reinbacher fits a very specific need that's not going to get filled any other way other than him figuring his shit out. Okay, we're back for the second period. And sorry, I blew the gun a little bit here. It's gonna start a second. Give it one more minute. Okay, now we're actually back. Actually back for the second. And Doc with a not a very good pass back to the point, and while bringing up the ice. thing about Doc is that he's now had, 2 knee surgeries and a fractured foot. But he like already is like kind of awkward on his feet. So it's like hard to like get a nice assessment of like, oh yeah, he's looking real smooth out there. Cuz he like always looks kind of awkward for such a big body. Nice play by Dobesh. Tried to send a stretch pass to Kapanen on the Minnesota line change. Almost caught them. Karen says would love Kirby Dach to score a goal. Bell Center would go crazy. I do think that was a soft pass. It was Sofkowski end of shift. Fair enough. Um, yeah, I do. I mean, Canadians fans are a pretty forgiving bunch. I think forgiving is not the right word. Doc didn't do anything to them, but you know what I mean. They're like an accepting bunch. Oh, Hughes moving like Hutson on the point there, giving the Wild another chance. God, the Wild were already good. Adding Hughes to the mix, not even fair. They gave up a lot to get him. It's a good trade, but Doc suffered his first major injury at the Worlds. Is that when he hurt his wrist? When did the wrist injury happen? I feel like that was kind of the doom injury for him that really like set things off. But yeah, this Doc injury thing has been happening a long time. He and Gooley have really struggled to stay healthy. Bob says, I'm surprised with so many teams needing goalie help this season. Nobody's come after Kakinen from Laval. He's played well. If Reimer can make it back, so can Capo. Is it because you think they're just keeping him? Maybe they'll give him a chance now. Now that they like feel like a little more secure in their 3 goalies, maybe they'll think about it. But I think as long as Montepo. Yeah, I think when Montembeau was struggling, they needed to keep Capo just in case. But like now, they maybe feel comfortable enough that they can shop him. The only person I know with more wrist injuries was Roger. Did Roger have a lot of injuries? Is this an inside joke I don't get? Are you saying he's? Well, he said he got injured a lot. You're right. He did. Our good old pal Roger did find himself on the DL a lot. Doc is definitely an upgrade over Texier for the first line. Texier isn't a first liner. Well, he looked pretty good when I saw him, but I get what you're saying. Oh, here we go. Here we go. 2-on-1. 2-on-1. Suzuki with a great shot, but man, what a nice. I mean, you can't be mad at Suzuki for shooting there. That was a really nice shot. Wallstead just made a really nice save. Oh, Demidov off the rush with the chance. Karen says the Habs are much tighter in the neutral zone and keeping the Wild on the boards in the D zone. Even the forecheck is pumping. Yeah, they're playing a great game tonight. Habs now up to 18 shots, a little over 5 minutes in the second period. By the way, Philip Danault snapped a 51 game goalless drought. Ooh my, that's a lot of games. So Dach was out 31 games, and then Danault snaps a 51 game goalless drought. That's some Scott Gomez level scoring droughts. All right, so far, Kirby Dach has played 748, which is third amongst forwards. 10 shifts. He's got a shot on goal, he's got a block, and he's got a hit. Not bad so far. Scott Gomez, the worst Bob Gainey trade. And Ryan McDonough still at it, still playing. Karen says, who are these guys? I know, right? Canadians are almost at 20 shots. We're not even halfway through the game. Yeah, Habs might hit 20 shots before the midway point. That's crazy. Harry says they're a team coming into their own. Oh, nice try, Caulfield trying to hit. Nice moves in the neutral zone. And then he tried to hit Dach going into the zone. And he just sailed a pass way wide. Can't say the timing is totally back for those two. And now the Wild are now they're getting their chance circling the in the offensive zone. But the Habs get it back. But then they just give it right back in the neutral zone. All right, the Canadiens are looking a little out of sorts at the moment. Not that the Wild have been able to capitalize. I mean, the passing has not been particularly crisp on either side, I will say. Oh, Hunt took a shot, and I think it hit Dobesh in the mask because he reacted like he got hit in the face, and he kind of just like cowered a little bit. Bit of a strange play for Dobesh. Karen says we're the only team with 5 players over 40 points right now. That is true. Pretty remarkable. And as I pointed out, Dach's first season with the Habs, he was second in team scoring, and he had like 37 points or something like that. 39 points. That's the thing about Kirby Dach. He was looked like a really good player his first season here, and was like well on his way. And then the injury started, man, and he hasn't had a chance to prove himself again. But he does have like a small little sliver of track record in Montreal that gives you some hope. Rick says this is a slower period, which it's only a 1 goal game, so the Canadiens should probably not sit on that too much. Oh, nice save by Dobesh there, stopping it in traffic and sending the rebound way out so the Habs can get down the ice. I mean, RDS is blaming Struble there for mishandling the puck on the Anderson pass back to the point, but that was a kind of a weird airborne pass. I'm gonna cut him a little bit of slack. Harry says it's the second period. You better wait for the third. Yeah, then hey man, the Canadiens will take a quiet second period over their usual second period, which is usually lots of chaos. Oh yeah, how's Danila Urov doing for the Wild? He was a big prospect for them. First season coming over from Russia, 19 points in 43 games, which is really good for a rookie year. I'm not going to put that down, but really goes to show you how good Demidov is. He's having a pretty special rookie season. I think we got to. It's hard to believe that he's even a rookie at all. Like, that's how well he's playing. Nice moves by Dobson. Ryan Katz says both goalies are Olympic bound. Are they both Swedes, or is one Finnish? Are they both fit Swedish goalies? I mean, Quinn Hughes right now, unreal chance. But now the Habs have a 3-on-1 going the other way. But they're kept to the outside and nothing really develops. But they keep it in the zone. Slav loses it, and now it's a 3-on-2 for the Wild. Could have been a 4-on-2. The guy just let it went for a line change. Fair enough. They don't need him. 4-on-2 is too many people anyway, but nothing developed on that one. But now, oh, spoke too soon. Wild kept it in the zone, and then a point shot from Faber goes through traffic. And it's all tied up. Another point shot through traffic here. That shot's really from downtown. I mean, he's just waiting, and then he flings it on net. Who's that? Hinostroza is in front of the net there? Man, Dobesh just like looks behind. He's like, what the heck? Yeah, it was Hinostroza in front of the net. He's not a big guy, but he definitely provided enough of a screen. So that's 2 goals on 8 shots. Not a great performance for Dobesh so far tonight. And he is, until further notice, the backup. Um, they did send down Fowler on Friday, as you guys know, but doesn't preclude them from calling him up if Dobesh struggles. But Dobesh, they've been winning with Dobesh, and so far it's only they're only tied. So there you go. Hunt with the big slap shot, and Dobesh came out to make the save. So he's no not lacking in confidence. I will say Dobesh does not get rattled. He gets like he's an emotional goalie, I will say, but he's not like primo rattled. Where when he let in a goal, you knew another goal was coming. You knew another goal was coming. Montebo even sometimes got that sometimes. Dobesh seems to shake off the goals. He plays with a bit of a chip on his shoulder, which sometimes doesn't help, but Ryan says Dobish didn't see either shot. Yeah, that was there was definitely some bodies in front. Hinostroza was in front of that one. It might have gone off Carrier. It might have. It might have for sure. Let's see who we're awarding this one to. Wow, Faber has 11 goals on the season. That's wild. No pun intended. So that goal is Faber, his 11th of the season, assisted by Kaprizov and Hinostroza. So all the big boys got assists tonight for the Wild. Kaprizov, Zuccarello, and Hughes, I would say, are the big boys they got. Dobish yapping at Tom Wilson started that bench fight in the playoffs. Sure did. That's what they said. That's what it was Newhook who said that, right, in the interview. Pretty interesting. Yeah, he's got a chip on his shoulder, Dobesh, which can help and hurt. I think in equal measure. 21 points in 19 games for Hughes since the trade. Can't wait to watch Marinaro tonight. Max is on. Maxime Lapierre is on. Is that the Max? Mad Max? Lapierre's good. All right, there's 8:37 left in the second period. Tied up at 2. Canes have been pretty dominant so far. They're leading 18-9 in shots, but they've let the Wild come back in this one. Can they break this awful slump, this long, extended, multi-year slump? They haven't beat the Wild since 2019, if you can believe that. But they're tied up right now, and they're playing pretty well, though they've kind of given Wild back some space here in the second period. Pierre McGuire's on as well. Oh, that is a good lineup. Maybe I'll watch. Canadians aggressive in the zone, but they can't get a chance. But this game's getting a little chippy now. All right, Demidov breaking down the wing, can't get around, and loses the puck. Man, nice defense by the Wild, but they get the puck back to the point. What a goal! Lane Hutson, the one timer. That was a big time Ivan Demidov shift right there. Man, we'd seen Demidov and Hutson connect a bunch earlier in the season. Haven't done it in a while, but my goodness. Demidov at the top of the slot. Waits. Fine, Hutson. Very nice. Man, the Minnesota Wild have some star players, but the Habs star players are the ones getting it done tonight. Lane Hutson has 9 goals this season. I don't know how many goals. How many goals? I don't know how many goals you guys were expecting Hutson to get this year. I know we all saw his shot last year. We all knew he's a talented offensive player, but we're all like, definitely pass if you can pass. Try not to shoot too much, but he's definitely worked on his shot. And Demidov, even with the stick tap on Struble, hey dude, I'm here alone in the top of the slot. Get it to me. That's funny. And it's 3-2, man. And so far, the defensemen are contributing a lot of the offense tonight, right? Hutson, Demidov, no, sorry, Hutson, Faber, Carrier. Last 3 goals by defensemen. Yeah, everybody's talking. Obviously Matthew Schaefer is a defenseman playing so well for the Islanders, but if Demidov just blows them away on offense, what's going to happen in that Calder race? In your face, Bill Guerin. Yeah, you'd think. I mean, Hudson's looking motivated tonight, but you got to think that Caulfield's going to want to score one too. Demidov with the no-look pass. He's pretty good at that. Harry Meach says, as for losing to Mini, I remember losing a bet way back in the early 80s when the Mini beat the Habs in the playoffs back when they were in the North Stars. I think they should bring the North Stars back. I actually find the Wild branding to be quite boring. Oof. I thought Wallstead had that covered up, and then suddenly there's Dach, a bunch of guys pounding away at that, looking for a rebound. The Calder winner, Rick says, as he mentioned back in the comments existed. Calder winner needs 65 points to win or be in contention. Demidov is on track for 68. Bob says he remembers that Minnesota series. Is that when they made the finals? Well, I have to ask, should the Wild change their name back to the North Stars? I think they should. I think they should bring back the full North Stars branding. It's just cooler than the Wild. The Wild's kind of a boring name. Boring name, boring logo, kind of boring colors. They should just go full on green and yellow. Bring back the green and yellow. North Stars. Who cares if there's a Stars and a North Stars? Uh, if they can have the Rough Riders and the Rough Riders, they can have the Stars. I guess they got rid of one of the Rough Riders, but damn. Steven says no, and Karen says no. All right, I'm alone on this. That's okay. Well, that's true. Dallas wouldn't allow it, and whatever money it would take to let them to relent is probably not worth it. All right, we got 3:17 left in the period. The Habs now have 22 shots to just 10 for the Wild. So the Wild have had some chances, but the Canadiens have mostly kept pace, and they lead 3-2. Dallas owns the trademark. That's true, but I mean, look, it's the NHL. Who we're all among friends here. If somebody really wanted to bring back the North Stars, I don't think that they brought the Jets back, right? I don't think it's I don't think it's like so precious. I don't think it's so precious. I don't think an owner wouldn't play ball. If they get a little money, they'd be happy. Minnesota is noted for its yeast and beer making. They should be called the Mini Yeast or the Mini Rising. That'd be funny. The Yeasts. Dallas, they're the Lone Star State. North Stars are totally different. I know they go. Maybe they should call the Dallas Stars the Dallas Lone Stars, and then the Minnesota North Stars, and they're just all different stars, like the Red Sox and the White Sox, right? You got the Red Sox, White Sox, and then now you have the Lone Stars and the North Stars. I like it. I think that works. 2:11 left in the second period. Still 3-2 Habs. This period has slowed down a little bit to the Habs' benefit, though. This time, I think in the beginning of the second period, things had slowed down a bit, but Mini was kind of dominating play. Now play is just like kind of disjointed, but the Habs are up a goal, so it's not bad. Bill Masters, it's Masterton, right? Bill Masterton from the North Stars. A true tragedy. And that's why they named the award after him. Ryan says we need another goal. Yeah. 3-2, not good enough. Nice pass, Matheson to Suzuki. Suzuki tried to shoot off the rush through the screen and missed the net, and then the puck immediately went out. And there's a pretty nasty spill there in the middle, in the neutral zone. So it was an interference call. Hartman stuck his leg out. Almost a knee on knee, man. Pretty dangerous. Almost caught Suzuki there. Yeah, that could have been really bad. Yeah, it was nice that he did not. It ended up being leg on leg, and Suzuki was smart to kind of like give out a little bit and avoid contact, but could have been much more dangerous. And there's an interference call. So what happened here? Habs entering the zone. I mean, it looks like the guy fell over. I don't think anyone touched him. They don't literally don't. I don't like to complain about the refs a lot because I think the refs are uneven in general for everyone. Like the Canadians get their good calls as much as their bad calls, but literally nobody touched Marcus Foligno on that play. Like he literally just fell. Man, the officials totally missed that one. That's crazy that was a penalty. Like literally was untouched. That's funny. That's life sometimes. Hey man, sometimes you get the break, sometimes you don't get the breaks. That's kind of how I see it. Oh, potentially dangerous giveaway there, but the Habs keep it in the zone, man. They're dangling on the outside 4-on-4 here. They're trying to get a spot. Ooh, Suzuki almost broke in, and that was a really nice try. He's gonna have a second chance here. Yeah, Felino just fell. Like it was I don't think it wasn't a dive either. I think he just wiped out. Like he just fell down. Bob says that was terrible from the refs. Karen says, what a joke. Yeah, it was just like a botched call. I don't think it was a dive. I don't think it was a trip. I don't think it was anything. I think it was just a oof. Okay, second period over. Demidov with a big wipe out there at the end. And the crowd is I mean, Eric Furlat's the referee tonight, and he's mea culpaing a little bit, but like, dude. So it's 3-2 Habs after two periods. Shots are 24-12 Montreal, and it's a 4-on-4 for a little bit. Harry asks, "Are we going to get a makeup call?" Yeah, that's a very good question. Very good question. I don't know. So yeah, is there going to be a makeup call? I imagine there will be. That was a bad one. Oh my god. Hopefully nothing bad happens and the rest usually try to make up for a blunder. Yeah, I do think that the Wild are going to have to be on their best behavior in the third period because if they touch anybody, Furlat's going to have to call it, right? Like he can't. The TSN went crazy on that call. Yeah, I can imagine. That's unbelievable. What an unbelievable. Brian Cat says after the period, 3 players went over to him. The ref looked pissed. I mean, the ref knows he messed up. I mean, guys, it's a fast game. It's easy for us from like the peanut gallery to say these things. That's pretty bad. That's a pretty bad one. In the annals of the bad, hey man, sometimes you miss a high stick, sometimes you miss a trip. It happens. I'm pretty forgiving of the referees for the most part, but you're you're literally watching the zone entry. All the players were going at the same time. They're in the same place. You have no excuse. Gotta catch that one. At least it makes me feel good. I've done what Foligno has done many times. Yes, I definitely am a guy who wipes out a lot. I mean, I can't really skate backwards. I'll be real with you guys. I'm Dave Anderchuk. I can skate forward to the net, and I can't really skate backwards. He'll be embarrassed when he sees his mistake during the intermission. If, notice a word to avoid the jinx, the Habs make the playoffs and they play on a Saturday, Sunday, what's your schedule? I will do the playoff games. If they make the playoffs, I will do all the playoff games. And yeah, I'm not even gonna comment on whether they bring comments back. I don't even want to talk about it right now. I don't know nothing. I know nothing. I wish I knew something. I know nothing. Rick Wood says Slav's got 41 points. Cooley's got 23. He was injured for a while. And Shane Wright's got 16. So did the Habs pick right in 2021? I think so. I can't imagine anyone would disagree at this point. I mean, I think everyone would argue that the second best player from that draft is Lane Hutson. It's right. He's the best player from that draft. So you could argue that the Canadiens got both the best and second best player in that draft. Not bad. Karen says, I want to see more Filipino pizza segments. We won't be a 7-Eleven pizza. Your favorite, though. Cooley. Cooley's a good player. By the way, Cooley's about to get paid a lot more than Slavkovsky. Cooley's getting paid almost $3 million more than Slavkovsky. Funny how that goes sometimes. Let's get some odds for you. It is still about 60%. 60% Habs or so, I would say. Meanwhile, how about the old Poly market? In terms of Poly market, 77 cents on the dollar going to the Habs. And then in the old high danger scoring chances, guys, it's 11-1 Habs right now. 11-1 Habs, man, in high danger scoring chances. And then in just regular scoring chances, it's 30-9. I don't think I've ever seen the Habs get 30 scoring chances in a game, let alone 30 in 2 periods. That's wild. Yeah, no pun intended. That's unbelievable. Karen says 78% chance of winning tonight. Kirkwood says in Promen's redraft, he listed Hutson as 3rd. And he's probably the last guy to be convinced that Hudson's a good defenseman. He has been a Hutson skeptic this whole time. So if he picked him 3rd, then you know he's good. Yeah, I mean, still just a 1-goal game, of course. It's not still a little too close for probably most of your likings, but okay, let's see how how our boy Kirby Dach is doing tonight in his first game back. First game in 31 after missing 31 games. Not a whole lot for old Kirby Dach so far. 12:05, which is pretty good amongst ice time among Habs forwards. He's 3rd right now, so just behind Suzuki Caulfield. 14 shifts, and yeah, he got 1 shot, 1 block so far. Harry says, can we count on weak legs for the Wild since they played last night? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that Kaprizov and Quinn Hughes are plenty rested and feeling pretty good and could probably skate for a million years without stopping. And that's what they're going to do in the third period. If the Habs let up at all, they will deeply regret it, I think. The Wild are good, and I don't think they're they're young. They've got some veteran players, but they're young in the right places, and really don't worry about them running out of steam. They are fast, electric, full of talent. So far, they've been able to keep Kaprizov mostly at bay. I feel like they've done all right. Matheson's done a good job shutting him down. Kaprizov's got 1 assist so far, but that was on the power play goal, was it not? So they've kept Kaprizov. Yeah, no, Kaprizov was assisted on that Faber goal. So they've kept him mostly at bay so far. And of course, the Canadiens have been quite dominant. If you have not checked the Gazette today, we got lots of good stuff for you. We got Stu Cowan wrote about Phil Deneau and about the fact that he's still solid in the faceoff circle, which is what the Habs need. And keeping with the Stu Cowan. Oh, no, this is not Stu Cowan. This was Herb. Herb wrote about Jake Evans coming back from injury, and he's liking the internal competition here. He knows that Veleno's got a chance to steal a spot. Deneau's now here to steal a spot. You've got Dach back, who in theory could play center. Kapanen's playing center. So suddenly the Canadiens have some depth at center. They have not had that depth in quite some time. They finally got it. So Herb's talking a little bit about it today. Then obviously Stu with the preview about Kirby Dach coming back. And then the big controversial piece of the day from Brendan Kelly. If you guys read What the Puck today about Brendan Gallagher, Brendan makes a case that of the players, now that Dach is back and Laine will be back soon, the guy who ought to sit is Brendan Gallagher. I don't know if that's how I feel like that's how you guys kind of feel. Um, if you ask me, man, even Blaze not in the lineup tonight. They are stacked tonight. Like with Dach back, even with Texier gone. So Texier's gone. So Texier comes back. I mean, who sits? Veleno, I guess. And then you guys were talking about Bolduc. So when if Newhook and Line are back, I mean, Newhook's really a long way away. I really don't know what to expect from him going forward this season. That was definitely the most gruesome of all the injuries. But like, where's there room for anyone? I don't see it. Texier takes Veleno's spot or Bolduc's maybe. But then really you're sitting Bolduc? Are you sitting Gallagher? Are you sitting Veleno? And then Laine's back and maybe before the break. He's looking like he might be. So Laine comes back. Who do you sit? That's tough. I don't know. Another point for Josh Anderson, by the way, who I really liked him this year. I feel like he's definitely a guy that you just keep around on the bottom six. All right, back for the third period. It's been a great game so far for the Habs, but they're only up a goal, man. So the Canadiens 5 points, 5 points so far for the Canadiens tonight. Defensemen contributing on the offense tonight. But yeah, Canadiens have played very, very, very well tonight, but are still just up a goal against a very, very good Minnesota Wild team. By the way, Quinn Hughes already played 1921 this game. That's crazy. Either the Wild get a soft penalty or the Canes get away with one. That is true. Bob says we need the treaded 2-goal lead ASAP. Well, first thing first, what they need is to get back to 5-on-5. So 4-on-4 is over. Now the Minnesota Wild have a 25-second power play. So they're going to basically get one rush here. And they get held up at the blue line. Rick Woods says there was an article on a Gallagher buyout. Next season, the cost is a little bit over 4 mil. However, the Habs are charged a fee or fine the following season for 1.3 million. Yeah, I can't imagine that Hughes would want to do that, but of course, a lot of that will be. I mean, somebody just got high sticked on the Habs and they totally missed it. So much for the referees doing the Habs a solid right away. Who was that? Matheson who took that high stick? But yeah, the Gallagher buyout is definitely a last resort. But if he's playing the rest of the season the way he's playing right now, I do think that they'll consider it if they can't find someone to trade. Obviously, I think they could if they would rather just ship off with a second round pick or something. Maybe that happens. Karen says we're not buying out Gallagher. We wouldn't do that to him. Yeah, that's kind of what I see too. That's why I say buying out Gallagher is only like a last resort. I don't think that they would do it willy nilly. It's really like they would buy him out if they really needed the money. He really can't play anymore, and he basically goes to them. Honestly, almost Gallagher would almost have to say to them like, "Hey, I'm thinking about retiring, but," or something to that effect, and is like, "But I do still have a year on my deal, and I'm a man of my word, and I'm gonna try to play." And then they tell him like, "Nah, it's okay, dude." Something like that. The ref apologized to Hutson. Well, a lot of good that an apology does. No, no, I kid, I kid. But it would be terrible if that botched penalty ended up being a factor somehow. Karen, if you want loyalty, buy a dog. Oh man, oh, he's never gonna live that down. Nor should he. Nor should he. Mark says I don't find Gallagher to be any worse than several others. He works his butt off. I mean, that's the thing. Even if Gallagher's skills are fading, you can't say that he doesn't give 100% every night. So it's really just a question of like, can they actually get somebody better in the lineup? Oh, Hartman with a shot, and Gobich did not play that traditionally, but hey, didn't go in. A lot to be said for heart, Harry says. Leads to inspiration for others. That's it, right? Like if Gallagher's next season just like a glorified cheerleader who plays 5 minutes a night and eggs everybody on and pushes the guys. You have to ask yourself, is the guy that we're gonna lose him and get someone else who maybe he's gonna play 10 minutes? Is that guy who played 10 minutes really that much more valuable than a 5 minute Gallagher? They have to ask themselves that. I don't know what the answer is. Just got back from rehearsal, Mark says. Artie is talking about a mistaken penalty on Hutson. Oh, it was crazy, Mark. Well, there you go. Suzuki wiped out. Yeah. I mean, that is a real penalty. I mean, Sturm fell down and then tripped Suzuki. That is a penalty, but I get it. Mark says it's also on the. I posted the play on the live blog. If you want to watch that, we need to trade Roy, Beck, and Struble and Kidney. We can for left wing depth. I think you're gonna have to sell Mitch. I think you have to sell an actual Kidney before Riley Kidney if you want to get something for that package. I'm kidding. I don't think you'll get much for that package. Beck, you might get something. Beck's okay. How has Doc looked? He's looked all right. What do you guys think? He hasn't like you can tell he's trying to like steal the puck, and I feel like we're seeing him kind of move all right for him. But I can't say that he's been like too remarkable or anything. But he looks better than when he came back from the knee injury. Like when he came back from the knee injury, he didn't look like he knew what he was doing. Tonight he looks like he knows what he's doing, but I can't say he's been like a huge factor. Solid for how much time he's missed. I think is the accurate is what I was dancing around. But yeah, Mitch, you said it more succinctly than I did. Just needs a few more games. I think is inaccurate. All right, we got 112 left in the period, and Hutson just danced around four guys to get the puck in the zone. Hopefully, the Canadiens can get settled here. The Wild player telegraphed that one really nicely. He saw that. He saw that Wild one coming. Habs not shooting on this power play. They're getting stuck passing the puck at the top of the zone here. But what a crazy zone entry play by Lane Hutson. All right, 39 seconds left in the power play. And a very nice clear by the Wild player. So I think they're going to get kind of one more chance here. And Foligno stands up Dach at the point there. Really not an impressive power play tonight for the Habs. Did they even get a shot that power play? I don't think so. And now the Minnesota Wild are got a little more spring in their steps, although the Habs are able to get it down the ice 3 strong, but there's also 3 Wild players, including Hughes, who there's only 1 shot this period. Yeah, still just 1 shot combined, and now Matheson's bringing up the puck of the ice, but he got his pocket picked by the Wild, so the Wild are going to get a chance to go up the ice again, but all they can do is dump the puck in the corner. All right, can Suzuki break it out? Now it's Caulfield who's got it. All right, Matheson's taking a step. This is 9 minutes into the period, still just 1 shot combined. There you go. Kind of a shot. Kind of counts. Demidov with a nice steal, but lost the puck and didn't clear it. So now the Wild get another chance in the zone. Oh, nice save, Dobish. Habs needed that one. And we get a little whistle here. It's almost at the midway point of the third period. So now it's 2 shots. Really, they're not even going to count that Slafkovsky one as a shot? Picky, picky, picky. Picky scoring judges there. How isn't that offside? Well, you know that they might call if they had scored, right? That might have been exactly something that Marty would have looked at. All right, I got to ask because everybody online right now is talking about this. Is the Hutson penalty the worst call by a ref this season? People are beside themselves, man. They are shocked. They've seen some bad ones, but they're like, man, haven't seen a bad one like that in a real long time. Curious to know what you guys think. If it's as bad as they say. Oh, Dach has missed 163 games since joining. So two whole seasons. Why did Dobish fall? I totally missed what happened there, but Dobish wiped out. Luckily the Habs were bringing the puck up the ice, so it wasn't a big deal, but Dach. So this is the second time now Dach is in front of the net, drawing the ire of the Wild defensemen. So that's a good thing. They did miss his size. Rick says, answering my question, says yes, that this was the worst call. Refs need to start calling infractions they actually see, Karen says. Not make assumptions based on the end result. It's ridiculous. We don't need refs like that. Ryan says it looks like Dobesh was tripped. There was definitely contact made with the goalie. Oh my God, the worst possible wipeout. And now the Wild get to go up the ice. Oh my God, the puck's in front of the net. Terrible, terrible, terrible sequence of events. And Gallagher he absolutely ran Middleton into the boards. Middleton's a big customer. So who gets a call here? The whistle definitely blew. Are they each going to get penalties? Really? So Gallagher, they're fighting in. So Gallagher just straight up cross checks Middleton into the boards. Middleton fights back, punches him, and then Hutson's the one who goes off for a penalty. Oh no, Foligno was definitely. Oh, sorry, Dobish definitely got touched. I'm just saying he sold it a little bit. He's a goalie though. Goalies are allowed to do that. I can't believe that ended up. Ryan, I have no idea where the penalty is. I saw Gallagher cross check Middleton in the boards, which you definitely could say is a penalty. I saw Middleton punch him back, which also could have been a penalty. And Hudson's in the box. I can't explain it. Canadians really need to watch out here. There's 9 minutes left in the game. They're up a goal, but the Minnesota Wild have a power play, and they have some real weapons. And have already scored once on the power play. And Dobesh. Yeah, Dobesh just spinning around there, doing whatever he can to stay in front of the puck, and they blew a whistle fast. But hey, they'll take it. That's a great cross check by Gallagher. I know. What a great best play of the night for Gallagher, I think. Anyway, still a minute 14 on this power play, man. I don't like this at all. Two phantom calls on Hutson. I mean, the Wild have it right. If you want to beat Dobesh, man, a light point shot through a lot of traffic. He has a hard time with those. And it's going to be a 5-on-3. Matheson gets called for tripping. Are you kidding me right now? Oh my God. 45-second 5-on-3. This is bad. Well, they got Evans and Dano on the ice, so you know they're trying to win a faceoff. Like that's the they got to win the faceoff. Like this is just one of those faceoffs you have to win. There you go, big faceoff win. But the Wild still get the puck back and get a chance to settle in the zone here with 30 seconds left on the 5-on-3. Zuccarello, man, tried to stuff that one in Caulfield style. Okay, a minute 15 left on the 5-on-4. Hutson's back. And the Wild tie it up. Tarasenko. I mean, what can you say? The Habs hung on the PK for a long time. And then Tarasenko, Kaprizov with the nice shot. Stop by, I think Gooley blocked it. And it went to Tarasenko. And I mean, there's not much Dobesh can do, man. He came around. Ah, boy. 7:18 left in the third period. It's tied at 3. Shots are now 25-17. Penalties, the big story tonight. The the Wild are now 2 for 4 on the power play. Ah, this game is a frustrating one. Tarasenko with his second goal tonight. Pimfash, happy to yeah you're joining us. Basically, Minnesota's had opportunities to take advantage. True contender. Canadians have opportunities and they have not. Canadians let teams back into games. That's the difference. Canadians are 0 for 2 on the power play tonight, whereas the Wild are 2 for 4. The Canadians' power play has looked awful tonight, really. Or sorry, they're 0 for 3 tonight, not 0 for 2, 0 for 3. No, you're right about the Canadians' power play just not being good tonight, and that's the difference maker here. If the Canadians had scored on the power play, we wouldn't be talking about a 3-3 game. Oh, shot from the point, man. Wallstead got a piece of it and it went into the corner, but definitely had a chance there. Okay, well, the Canadians have set back up in the offensive zone. Caulfield with Suzuki kind of in front of the points. Ah. Karen says, can't wait for Patrick Laine to come back. Well, he's coming. Karen, who do they I gotta ask you, Karen. Karen, who are you sitting when Laine comes back? That's the big question I got. Because it might be real soon. It might be in a week. Maybe even less than a week. Blue points out. Hey, the Habs are 4 points back from Mini with the game in hand. So what makes them contenders and the Habs not contenders? It's a good question. Laine will replace Gallagher on the power play too. Well, he'll replace Gallagher maybe more than just power play too, right? Habs Absolute Hockey says these refs are horrible, man. I wonder if there's still quite a bit of time left in this game. 5:34. I do wonder if the Habs get another makeup call. We'll see. Let's see what happens. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. Karen says, I don't know. Somebody will sit. We need him. Yeah, I guess somebody might just get hurt. That makes life easier. Armenio says Doc is starting to get up to speed. I know it would be nice to see him get a chance here. Haps Absolutely Hockey says these refs penalize Hutson for no reason at all. That penalty was bad. Harry says Liney's been great on the PP, but what are you going to do 5-on-5? Bob's doing a little scoreboard watching. Buffalo's up 4-2 on Nashville. Hope they make the playoffs, but not at Montreal's expense. Armenio says, can we find a team willing to take Laine off our hands? Hey, man, the power play is 0 for 3 tonight. Mark says, that being said, Line is a liability 5-on-5. Not sure where he fits in. And Habs Absolute Hockey says, yo, Galley needs to sit. He's not playing well. Specifically, he's too slow. Rick Wood says, it might be a rotation of Bolduc, Galley sitting. Bolduc needs time to watch the game from the box. Galley needs to rest. That's true. You don't have to just sit one guy and that's that. You could definitely timeshare these things. Can you imagine Hughes versus Hutson 3-on-3? Could be 441 from that potentially happening. It's 441 left, 3-3 in the game. Habs are out shooting the Wild 29-17, but have only managed 5 shots in the third period. Let's see what they can do. Spurgeon gets a nice shot from the point, but luckily for Dobesh, there's nobody in the way, so he's able to see it. That is true. The Canes have not beat the Wild since 2019. So to even be in this position with 4 minutes to go, tied up at 3 at home, there's a chance. Habs Absolute Hockey says, we're playing the better team and we're tied. We should be winning right now. There's still time. Still 4 minutes to play in regulation. Ryan says the Habs Dobesh had no chance on any of the goals. Yeah, I agree. 3 goals on 19 shots is not great, but 2 of them were on the power play with some nice passing by the Wild. So what are you gonna do? All right, 3 minutes to go. All right, Gallagher gets the puck in the zone here. Can he do it? Can he get the puck back to the point? Yeah, he gets it to Matheson. They got to get nobody near the net, though. They're trying to just kind of battle for the puck right now. It's nice passing. Gets the puck back to Matheson. Can he get it from the point? Puck sails wide just a little bit. I mean, Gallagher heads off, man, but he battled hard that in the corners for the puck there. That's something that he's still doing. He's still trying his hardest in the corners. Here, nice pass to Matheson. He comes in and Wallstead with a really nice save. Oh, very nice play. Nice passing to get the puck to Matheson, who's able to walk into the top of the circle and take a nice shot on Wallstedt. But there wasn't too much traffic in front, so he was able to see it. 2:17 to go now. It's still tied up 3-3. Canadiens just crossed the 30 shot plateau. Minnesota's only at 19. But it's tied up on the scoreboard. There you go. Wild lose it in the neutral zone. Slavkovsky walks it in, gets it to Evans, and a nice little backhand to Veleno in the slot. Kind of catches him off guard. Very nice pass by Slav. Getting a message here that my internet connection is not great. I'm hanging on here for you guys. Hope you guys can still hear and see me. There you go. Okay, I'm back on. No, it says I think it's okay. All right, there's 128 left in regulation. Still 3-3. You're seeing a lot of Evans out, a lot of Veleno out, a lot of Dano out. They're really trying to emphasize winning faceoffs. This is a team that just wants to get to OT. The faceoff is now in the defensive zone. And the Habs win the battle, get the puck. Slapping double shifted, as he should be. There he is in the corner again. Oh, really nice pass to Dach, who was just a second too late coming into the zone, but Hutson with Dach right in front of the net. All right, 1:06 to go now. Mark says, I just saw the Hutson penalty. That ref should be suspended. That's brutal. One of the worst calls I've ever seen. Bob says, the Minnesota North Stars and Wild have always been teams that don't do anything to cause you to hate them. Not like the Leafs, Sens, Bruins, or Hurricanes. That's because they're in the West, too. We don't see them very often. Hab player dumped in the corner here and along the boards and no call. I mean, the Habs are really circling with 27 seconds left here. Can they get it? Suzuki with the moves. And they score with 15 seconds left. Unfreaking believable. Well, you better eat your... Some of y'all better eat your words, because some of you were talking about how the Habs had blown it, and, well, there's 15 seconds to go. And it certainly looks like it was Cole Caulfield. Just incredible passing. Danault's in front of the nets. Did he? Well, he certainly. Don't make me call some of you out. Some of you just left the chat. I think. Some of you just like you came in to talk about how the Habs had blown the game, and now you've left the chat. So what can I tell you? What can I tell you? Well, we're still close. It's not over yet. Still 15 seconds. And it's over. Oh. The Montreal Canadiens have beat the Minnesota Wild for the first time since 2019. That is the first time the Habs have beat the Wild since 2019. By the way, and I'm not here to brag or talk about my predictions, but I did predict that the Habs would win 4-3 when Gary popped in to ask me about his prediction. So I'm hoping that Gary pops back in to eat his just desserts. Don't think he will, but if he does, I did actually predict the score tonight. I did not. I don't. I'm not a gambler, so I didn't gamble on it. But Dennis Martin says great game. Mark Tallifer says Tinkerbell does it. He has a knack for doing it. Karen Rooney says what a game, no OT. Rick Wood says, thanks for hosting. Great to see some new faces. Please, everyone, press the like and subscribe button to support me. That's true. People do these YouTubes and then they're like, press like and subscribe. And then, like, it helps. And I never ask because I have no freaking clue what I'm doing. I'm just happy to see you guys here. But yes, I guess if you want to like and subscribe, like and subscribe. There is a new episode of Hockey Inside Out coming in tomorrow. So you can, if you like and subscribe, you will be the first to get it when it comes out in the afternoon. Early afternoon. Depends how long. Sometimes it takes longer to edit. Three points for the win in regulation. Symbolic points, I guess. Danault was great in front of the net. Who said it would be a blowout? It was our friend Gary. Pimp Ash. Like I said, Caulfield 15 seconds left. Like we drew it up. I love it. Pimp, I love that I do love it when we make a prediction and then it like doesn't go right. We're just like, just how I planned it. That's what makes sports fun. That's what makes sports fun, right, Mark? You agree? It's funny. Nobody wins anything unless you bet $1,000,000, but you shouldn't do that. Nobody wins or loses anything in this. It's all good fun. So I'm happy. I'm happy we're all having a good time. Will you? I will be here next. Yeah, on Thursday. I'll be here on Thursday. I'll see you all on Thursday. I'll do that game. Too bad the Bills can do. Oh, poor Bills. How do I think Dach looked tonight? I actually like him. I actually liked Dach's game tonight. I thought he didn't do much with the puck, but I thought he went to the net and he was causing trouble. There was 3 instances where the Wild players were definitely getting out of sorts, trying to protect their goalie from Dach. So I like that if he didn't necessarily have his legs and he didn't necessarily have his hands, he definitely like used his body and went to the net. So I'm happy to see that he did that. Oof. 6-3 Stars over Bruins. Damn. 25 goals. Bonsoir, Steve. Thanks for joining. So check out the Liveblog replay if you want to watch all the highlights, including the Hutson penalty, if the Phantom penalty, if you want to watch that again for some reason. And then we'll have the hitting game later tonight from Herb Zukowski. Tomorrow morning, we'll have About Last Night with all the highlights if you want to watch again. And then we have a new episode of Hockey Inside Out tomorrow. Chris Nyland and Rick Green will be there. So yeah, stay tuned. Lots of good stuff. Stu Cowan's working on some fun. We got some special projects coming up for you. Get ready for some special projects. And yeah, thank you guys so much for coming. And we will see y'all on Thursday.